Transformers 96 series. In the video, I'm going to be doing a comparison between the multiple different figures from different companies of Captain Phasma. So this should be a shorter video, I'd say. I did do something similar to this in 2012 with the Avengers line. There were a lot of different figures coming out for Avengers in multiple different scales. So typically, I would do a comparison between the Mini Mace 3¼ inch, 6" and Diamond Select 7". And so I compare, all the Captain Americas, all the Lokis, all the Thors, that type of thing. And you guys seemed to like it back in 2012. I've always kind of wanted to continue it, but there hasn't been a figure that has had multiple different size difference, multiple different appearances in multiple sizes in quite a while. Just because a lot of companies they stopped focusing on 6" figures and 3¼ inch figures, and there's been less figures based off of movie characters and things like that. So finally, with Star Wars The Force Awakens, there's obviously, with all these new fresh characters, every company is making them for the first time, and therefore we're getting a lot of different versions of them. So I am definitely doing this with Captain Phasma. I might be doing it with Kylo Ren as well, and those are probably the only two. Those are the two that are getting the most versions of in lines, I think. So I'll probably be only doing those two, and I might in the future do an update for Captain Phasma, because there are still a few that are unreleased that I plan to get, mainly the MEFX one, which is set for release in December, and the Hot Toys one, which is set for release in June, I believe. I've got the Hot Toys one on pre-order, and I do plan to get that other one as well. So let's talk about these. We have the 3¼ inch, the mainly like a 5" or just slightly under 6" from SH Figuarts. We had the Black series, it's at slightly over 6 inches tall, and then we have the Elite series, which is 7 inches tall, as well as the 12" series from Hasbro. So I do have 5 Captain Phasmas here. So let's talk about them, let's compare them, and I'll just tell you my general what I like about each of them, which one I think is the best in general, and things like that. So let's get started. So first of all, I do have to say that the 3¼ inch Captain Phasma that I have there is a modified 3¼ inch version. It's modified based off of this one. Here's the 3¼ inch Captain Phasma from this line, which is terrible articulation, mainly just has in general swivel thighs, swivel shoulders, and a ball-jointed head. So not very good articulation, of course. I was able to get that one on eBay from somebody who took this figure and actually just added articulation to it. I've made a video reviewing it, but they did a wonderful job. They added articulation in the elbows. Now she has swivel hinge elbows, as well as swivel wrists, swivel hinge knees, and swivel hinge ankles too. So excellent articulation. As you can see there, she can now hold her gun with 2 hands. So that's the modifications done to that one, but the paint is all the same and everything like that. So I can still judge it based off of what everybody has, basically. Starting off with paint, which one has the best paint? There are two that have the better paint jobs. The Figuarts and the 12" one have the best paint jobs. None of them are accurate, though. Not a single one actually has her color of paint from the movie. Obviously, in the movie, she has a chrome armor. None of these have chrome armors, which is unfortunate that there's not a single chrome-armored Captain Phasma in a regular articulated line on the market at the moment, which is a shame. Both of the unreleased Captain Phasmas that are coming out do have chrome armor, though. The Hot Toys and the MEFX one actually do have the accurate color. So I am quite excited for them to actually get that accurate color, because her color is so unique, and one of the things that makes her so popular is her just awesome look. So it is a shame that we don't have a single one that's movie accurate. However, they all look quite nice. The Elite Series 1 has gone with more of a flat silver. It has a bit of a sheen to it, but it's mainly a flat silver. The Black Series 1 has slightly more of a shiny silver. The 3¼ inch version is quite odd. Like, the torso has a shinier silver to it, and then the legs and arms and helmet have more of a flat gray. So very strange on the 3¼ inch one. However, the Figuarts and the 12" versions have a nice silver that has a high metallic gloss to it. It's very shiny and it definitely looks great. And it's actually the reason that I bought the 12" one. The 12" one has the same articulation as the 3¼ inch one. Well, it has slightly better. So it has crappy articulation, but I love the fact that it's so shiny, so that's why I bought that one. So as far as the colors go, I would give it to the Figuarts one. Has the best colors because it's slightly shinier than the 12-inch one, although they're basically on the same level there. As far as the cape designs, they've all done different cape designs. I think that they all look quite nice. Most of them went with a smooth design, except for the Black Series and the 12-inch one. There's lots of texturing in the 12-inch one, especially on the inner side of the cape. There's some texturing on the Black Series one on the inside, and the 3¼ Figuarts and Elite Series all have very smooth capes. The red stripe is done a bit darker on the Figuarts and Elite Series, and on the 3¼ Black Series and the 12-inch is done in a much brighter color. The Black Series one has some mess ups on the paint with the red there though. And then of course the just shape of the capes are all quite different. Some of them have a bit more of a bowed out look. The Elite Series one really bows out to the right there, and which is why I have her arm up so it looks like she's doing it. Otherwise, if you have her arms just to her side, it looks quite strange as the cape is so far out on one side. But if you have her arm up like I do, it looks fine because it looks natural and like she's actually moving her arm up, which is causing the cape to do that. And then some of them, just have a slightly cooler design. I think that I just like the sculpting work of the Black Series one the best, just the way that it's actually the position that it's in, basically. I like the shoulder area of the sculpting on the Elite Series and the Figuarts ones a lot too. It really looks like there's a realistic and natural shoulder in there. And then I like the texturing of the 12-inch one. So the capes, it's very hard to compare them. They're all different. Some of them are good in different ways, but I would give it to the Black Series. I think the Black Series has my favorite design cape. Although it's really hard, I would say that the three in the middle there have the best design capes for different reasons. But I would probably give it to the Black Series. When we go gun, the guns are all slightly different. It's very strange because you think that the gun would get bigger as you go up. However, the Figuarts one has a very large gun. It's actually bigger than the Elite Series one, which is very strange. I would have to assume, since that's the only one that has that strange gun, or that strange gun size, that's inaccurate, but it still looks nice. I think that the painting is different on all of them. Some of them have a brighter gold, some of them have a more matte gold, but I think that they all overall look pretty decent. I really can't pick a favorite of them because they're just so different, and I really don't know which one's more accurate. Articulation wise, easily the Figuarts one has the best articulation. The worst articulation is the 3¼ one, except because my custom one has custom articulation. It actually has pretty decent articulation, but just the normal 3¼ one that you just buy in the store has the least amount of articulation. Next it would be the 12-inch line, which has the same articulation but with swivel wrists, so it has just barely any more than the 3¼ version. Then the next one would be the Elite Series, which has some decent articulation, lacking like a ball joint upper torso or a bicep swivel or anything like that though. And then the Black Series one has a pretty decent amount of articulation, but then the Figuarts one just blows them out of the water articulation wise. Definitely has much more articulation than all of them. The actual just sculpts in general I think all look quite nice. They're all pretty accurate to her in the movie. The Black Series one went with a more bulky look. She's got definitely a lot more bulk to her. You can even see that in regards to the Elite Series one, which is much taller, but she's skinnier on the Elite Series one. I'm not quite sure which is more accurate. I think that she has slightly more bulkier armor, but the legs should be thinner, so I think that the Black Series one fails a bit on that. The Elite Series, or sorry, the Figuarts one, they stylized it a bit. They gave her very skinny legs and also a chest that's a lot bulkier, that sticks out a little further. It looks like they tried to give her more woman proportions, which I think looks really cool, but in the movie it's not like that. Like her chest armor it's completely flush basically to her waist armor, while this one of course did bulk it up a bit, which I think looks cool, but it isn't accurate to the movie. So just based on the armor, I would say that maybe the Elite Series has the best just armor design, the thinner legs, but with slightly bulkier arms and things like that, and a bigger helmet. Her helmet is quite big too, which I think the Elite Series one did capture that quite nicely, so I'd probably give that to the Elite Series. And I think that just about rounds up all the categories that I have with this. I guess accessories, I kind of just said the guns instead of accessory wise, but basically all of them just come with a gun except for the Figuarts one that does come with some more hands. So because of that, of course, I would give it to the Figuarts. But overall, my favorite Captain Phasma figure so far is the Figuarts one. It has the best paint, it has the best articulation, it has stylized proportions which aren't accurate but look really cool, and the cape is a little lackluster when you compare it to the others. However, it's a fine cape design. If you had to pick one Captain Phasma, I'd definitely go with her. However, there's of course room for improvement, and hopefully we'll get a just amazing Captain Phasma figure pretty soon. The Hot Toys one looks awesome. It has the accurate color of chrome. It has a cloth cape, of course. It looks wonderful, but based on how the Stormtroopers turned out, her articulation should be extremely hindered. Then the Metafex one looks really nice, has the accurate chrome color, of course, has a cloth cape, but I believe it will have less articulation than the Figuarts one. So we'll see. Very much looking forward to the next Captain Phasma figures, and when I do get those, I might do an update. So there you go. That's my review of the comparison between 5 different scales from 5 different companies of the Captain Phasma figure. Thanks so much for watching.